My name is Verdell Jenkins. I was born March the 6th, 1947 in the city of Chicago. I enlisted into the United States Marine Corps in June of 1966. And from there I went into boot camp and did 12 weeks of boot camp and then 4 more weeks of infantry training and then another 6 weeks of school, which was for my MOS, Military Occupational Specialty, and I was a field radio operator for the United States Marine Corps. I served in Vietnam from January of 1967 to February of 1968. And what can I say about that? Okay, Vietnam.
You were there for a little bit over a year.
Yes, I was there 13 months. 13 months was a tour of duty for the Marines. I can't speak for everybody because everybody didn't do the same thing exactly the same. But for the Marine Corps, 13 months was a tour of duty.
Okay.
I went to Vietnam on board the USS Walker, which was a troop carrier that they had brought out of mothballs to take troops over to the theater, they used to call it. Theater, like I'm going to see a movie.
Right.
I always wondered about how they come up with some of the terms. Theater, okay, but so that actually was kind of fun.
Going
On the boat.
Yeah.
Right, because we had 5,500 Marines and 875 Army personnel who were mostly male clerks.
Okay.
But on board the ship, we had things to do. We had bands, we had, we did little skits and, all kind of things like that.
So it was like fun on the way over, but when
Yeah.
you guys got there,
It was a
everything
difference.
changed. Okay.
Yeah, right, yeah. I remember the first landing. We were off that night when we were we hadn't actually got off the vessel yet. But I remember that night, and everybody was spent the whole night just standing out looking at what we were about to get in. Because all
the coast.
yeah, you could see planes dropping bombs. You could see tracer rounds going off. So a lot of apprehension that night from guys, because they spent the night. I was like, I don't know what you guys standing up here watching it. I'm going down here and go to bed because pretty soon we're going to be in the mix of it.
Yeah.
So we disembarked from the ship in Chulai. No, Da Nang. Was it Chulai? It was Da Nang. We embarked from the ship in Da Nang Harbor, and we got off the boat, and everybody, they have these, what do they call them? People, I don't forget the title of the guy, but it's the guy that's in charge of getting you off the boat. They got a beach master. That's what they called him. They called him a beach master. So this guy, and I believe, if my memory serves me correct, it was a full-bird colonel. So he was the one that was getting us off. You get off, you got a little tag on you, like you in kindergarten.
Right.
You're going here, you're going there, you're going here, etc., so forth. But the first thing that I remember doing when I got off, I was attached to what's called a working party, where they just take you, hold you temporarily at this spot, and use you to do exactly that, work.
Right.
So one of the first things I did in Vietnam was open up a barrel, which at that time we didn't know what it was because we were fresh off the boat. Open up a barrel and mix this crap up, and it was Agent Orange. So my first exposure to Vietnam was the Agent Orange. That was my first exposure. Spent maybe 5 days there at Da Nang.
So what was Agent Orange used for?
Agent Orange was a defoliant.
Okay.
And this is the stuff they sprayed throughout the jungles to kill it. Okay? Now we know it as, I call it Agent Orange, it's the same stuff. What is that crap? What is the stuff you can buy from Home Depot now? What is it called?
Just the stuff to kill.
Yeah, to kill weeds and stuff. Where it is, it's very Roundup.
Oh, and they had you guys mixing that in a big barrel. Yeah.
It came in a big barrel,
Yeah.
and then you took it and you mixed it in a bigger container,
Okay.
so that it could be sprayed to kill the foliage
Okay.
around the bases and in the jungles. They sprayed a lot of this stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the first things you ask any Vietnam veteran is, do you have diabetes? Because if you do, then you more than likely got it from Agent Orange.
Okay.
If in fact, now, from the VA, okay, if you have diabetes and you were just in the theater of Vietnam,
Yes.
then you can automatically qualify for 20% disability.
Okay.
Because they know how poisonous the stuff was to
Yeah.
us. Okay. And two things about Vietnam veterans that you can look for. One, if they have diabetes, and the other, if they don't have any teeth in their head.
And what caused the loss of teeth?
And one of the main reasons for the loss of the teeth was some genius came up and said, hey, look, you guys we need to treat the teeth of you guys. Okay, so what they did is they gave us pure fluoride.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the kicker, with pumice in it. All right, yes. This is what some genius had back then, because they put this pumice in this fluoride, brush your teeth with it, and the idea was, or the thought process was, the fluoride would then sink into the teeth.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what it really did was remove your enamel.
Strip your teeth.
And yes, of the protective coating of your enamel. So therefore, what you ended up with was bad teeth, especially if you was unfortunate enough to go out into the field and be in places where the water was not quite sanitary or high quality.
Yeah.
You weren't going to get no water there. So those are the two things that most Vietnam guys have issues
Kind of
with.
suffer from.
Teeth and the diabetes, which I have both. At
Right.
this point right now, I get 80% disability from the VA for my service in Vietnam or my service in the military. But
So after you left the work party where you were mixing up the Agent Orange, where did they send you to next?
my next spot was to be trucked into Chu Lai, and that's where the 1st Recon Battalion, 1st Marine Division was, and that's who I was attached to. I was attached to 1st Recon Battalion, 1st Marine, and I was in. Was I in first? I think I was in 2nd platoon. I don't remember now.
Okay.
Okay. And but the first one I got there, I was because I was a radio operator. So the first thing I was attached to is I was attached to Headquarters Company, and Headquarters Company was responsible for maintaining the contact with the different patrols that would be out from my outfit.
So you were kind of helping coordinate everyone and like maintain contact and like communication.
I had I literally had we had a shift. You would come on shift and and stuff, and then you maintain that. I was attached to Headquarters Company for about 2 months. Okay, 2 months. Yeah, I was attached for about 2 months to Headquarters Company, and then while attached to Headquarters Company, I spent about 4 weeks out at a radio relay outpost. And that was just kind of like an outpost that was away from where Headquarters was at, to relay for the guys in the field. Because I was in a reconnaissance outfit, and our job was to go out and, we used to say snoop and poop. Was what we used to say. So basically my job was to go and observe. We were to go and observe, report what we see, troop movements, whatever, or we would go and maybe to a village that we suspected was friendly to the VC, and we would.
Did you have any interaction with some of the people who lived in the villages? Or were you just observing them, like from the outside?
Not unless it was absolutely necessary.
Okay.
Okay.
And how did they like receive you guys?